Hey, it's Rich, the Louisiana Hobby Guy. Today we are in the laser lab and 98-degree temperature outside. It's nice and cool in here though, about 74 degrees in here, so I'm happy, but I am de-shirted. But today we're going to be making a sign that says on air, and we're going to be making that sign from 6mm oak wood. And that you can see it right there, and we're going to be using the Lasermatic 10 to run this job. So the reason why I'm doing this video today, anybody can do this, right? So the reason why I'm doing this today is because if you notice there, I'm using an Arial font and I'm making stencil letters. So this applies to stencils as well. So a lot of people have said to me over time, you know, that they want to do stencils, and I always say the same thing, well, just go download the stencil font. And well, it turns out that people aren't really happy with that stencil font. So what I'm going to do today in this video is I'm going to show you how to take any font. Today we're going to use Arial, but you can take any font, type out some text, and make it into a stencil font easily and quickly. So with that said, let's get started on today's project. Okay, so I have gone through a couple of iterations of this now, and let me delete this one off of my screen. This one here is the second version of it, and I was trying to do a video on it, but I forgot to make the cutout go all the way across, so I screwed that one up. I'll get rid of this one, and you know, this is how doing these videos sometimes takes a long time. So now I'm on my third version of this, and I've gone and adjusted these openings here to exactly 1mm. And the way that you can do that, you can cut out the opening on here, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute, and then you can resize it right here just by dragging this up or down, selecting that one piece, and either piece, doesn't matter. You can select one, move it halfway up, move the other one halfway down to keep it proportionate. What I did wrong on the A was slicing it. So let me show you now how you properly slice this. You want to connect the wood. This is wood over here, and this is wood over here. You want to connect it all the way across. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a rectangle, grab a primitive up here on the top left side, draw out a rectangle 1mm tall all the way across like that, and then we'll select it. Now what we'll do is we'll size it to the size of the letter. Now with an angular letter like this, it's a little bit harder to size it. So what you have to do here, because you don't want these pieces sticking out on the side, so what we have to do here is come up to Edit up on the top toolbar, come down to Convert to Path right here, and click on that. Now we can come over on the left toolbar to the Node Edit, and you'll see the 4 nodes for this rectangle appear. What we want to do is slide this node in to right next to the edge. It has to meet that line, but it can't go too far over beyond it. So we're going to just bring this in to about there. Let me zoom in to make this a lot easier. I'm going to grab this and bring it right into the very edge of that line, and then we're going to do the same thing up here on the top. I'm going to grab this one and bring it in right to the edge of that line so that that is unnoticeable to the naked eye. And then on the other side we're going to do the same exact thing. So we're just going to grab it and bring it right into the edge right there, and then we'll grab this one and bring this one in to the edge over here. Now I just made the same mistake that I made in the last video, or I'm sorry, I didn't make the same mistake I made in the last video, which was drawing this rectangle only out to the edges of this wood here. So this wood here is going to drop out. That doesn't help us. So now we have the rectangle going all the way across from wood over here to wood over here, and that's what we want. Now we'll come to the selector tool, top left, and we'll just drag over both of these. Come up here to Tools at the top menu, come down here to the Boolean Assistant, click on that, and we're going to pass our mouse over the different functions here until we find the one that we want, which is A minus B. So these are all the different functions of the Boolean tool, and this is the one that we want, A minus B. We're going to select it and say OK. And now if we look at this, you'll see that we have the wood on this side goes all the way across to the wood on this side, and that will keep this center part of the A intact. And we now have a military style stencil letter that will cut out perfectly without it being the actual military stencil font. So you'll be able to use any font that you want. Let's jump over to the laser real quick. We already know our settings are all set up for this. So I'll go to the laser tab. I don't need to hit frame because all I've done is moved it down from the top. The original one was up in the top corner. Second one was in the middle. I duplicated that and put the third one down here, and we are ready to run this job. Let's go ahead and hit start. And there we go. The laser is started. I will turn off my microphone now and speed this up so that it goes a little bit quicker. Well, I guess rather than having the microphone off, I'll just voice over this a little bit. For those that are interested, this is the Rolly Automation Lasermatic 10. It's a 10-watt diode laser. This job is running on 6mm white oak at 140 millimeters per minute at 100% power, and it is slightly above the recommended cut for white oak that I have in the Lasermatic 10 library that most people have, which is 120 millimeters per minute. But this oak is well dried, and I know that it would cut at this speed. So those are just some stats on what we're doing here. But other than that, we'll get back to the video in just a moment. So I did need to use some strategically placed magnets because this oak did warp a little bit. It was actually originally in a 24-inch sheet that I cut in half on this laser. And you can see that those numbers that I used are perfectly dialed in. There is the final product, and it came out absolutely perfect. I think this one is definitely going to be a keeper. And that's it. That's it, folks. That's the whole video. So you're probably wondering right now, well, how did it come out? Well, here is the final product on air, and it's my little sign. I've got a couple of other versions of this that I'm working on, as you can see down below, with the wood and the acrylic over there, but I'm not going to share those just yet. This particular one, this one that I made here, all I did was take a piece of red cardstock paper and I glued it to the back, and there is my final product on air. So really easy way to create stencil. You might want to just do this out of paper, you know, and create stencils that you can spray paint with as well. So I did it out of wood. I've done it out of acrylic. This is the easy way to take any font and turn it into a stencil font. Doesn't matter what font it is. Well, unless you get the crazy italic ones. That might be a problem. But most fonts can be turned into a stencil in just a couple minutes flat. So I had a lot of fun making this video today. I hope you enjoyed it too. And as always, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.